Are you the quantum mechanics?
Yes, we are the Quantum Mechanics, the paranormal podcast for the believers, the doubters, and everybody in between.
We are indeed. Now, firstly, Ben, we need to talk about Spotify.
Oh, yes.
Well, for two reasons. One, I don't know if you're on Spotify, but they've done that thing where it gives you your listening age. Mine came in at 79.
Oh, yeah, mine always comes in at something very similar to that.
I think it's all that old jazz I listen to that's really ruined my profile. But more importantly, we did get an email from them this week saying we'd won an award.
Award!
Now, I mean, let's not get too hyperbolic about it. It's not like we've won a BAFTA or an Oscar or anything, but we are in the top 2% of podcasts for listening time, comments and shares.
I know. Well, who'd have thought? Just 5 short years after starting this. Thank you to everybody who has made that happen. We get the figures every week and it's always, I don't know, you kind of pore over it and you go, is that good? Is it getting better?
Yeah. But I think if you look at that, I mean, I'm sure top 2%, there's a lot of podcasts in there, but I would imagine the bulk of them have got major media organisations behind them and part of networks. You know, we're just two guys independently putting our podcast in. So I'm quite proud of it, I think. And
me too.
And a big thank you to all the people who supported us this year. Keep listening, commenting and sharing.
And all the dogs that have barked and snored all the way through 2025.
Yeah.
So that's the self-congratulatory stuff.
Bit out of the way, we can pat ourselves on the back. Well, Ben, for some reason, I'm full of Christmas spirit. So I couldn't resist giving us an episode full of Christmas spirit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you did threaten me with some ho, ho, ho.
Oh, yeah, we've definitely got some ho, ho, ho coming. And because Christmas, Ben, is all about tradition.
Yeah.
Couldn't do this episode without some random facts.
No, I'll hit the button.
Hit the button. And I thought we could have a look at some cultures where Santa is not traditionally the main Christmas gift giver. Such as one of my favourite places, Iceland.
Okay. Who gives you gifts in Iceland?
Well, you might be sad to hear, Ben, it isn't Santa who brings necessarily the gifts to Icelandic children, but a group of mischievous brothers known as the Yule Lads.
Oh, yeah, I have spoken about the Yule Lads. They, because there's one, isn't there one who bears his bottom?
Yes, they're very kind of trickstery.
Right, okay.
So there are 13 of them. They're the children of a monstrous troll, this is where my pronunciation might go a bit awry, called Grilla, and her second husband, Lepalothi. How do you think my Icelandic was?
That seems pretty good.
Yeah, no idea.
You all could be pleased.
Yeah. So originally the legend had them as mischievous pranksters who looked like, I guess, how you would expect a troll to look like, right? You know, you think of a troll, that's what they were like. But over time, they have absorbed some of the Santa legend, so they do look a bit more Santa-ish in more modern times. You know, the long beards, the stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I think originally they didn't give gifts, but that's kind of been added into their MO over time.
Their PR has been out.
Yeah, been working on them. So one of the 13 Yule Lads arrives each night from the 12th of December, giving gifts that are placed in a shoe. Children leave the shoe on their windowsills, and then the gifts are put in each night.
Not a very generous present. You can't get an Xbox in there.
You can't get anything, well, it depends on the size of your shoe.
Oh, true, yeah.
But kids who are naughty or on the naughty list might find a rotten potato rather than a gift in their footwear.
Children learning the skill of clowning are going to be heavily benefited from this.
From the rotten potato?
No, from the size of their shoe.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, I got you. Well, in Spain and some Latin American countries, gifts often come from the 3 wise men, which makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
It does.
And you get your presents on January the 6th.
That's not 12th night. That's the day after 12th night.
Yeah. Interesting. In some parts of Europe, such as the Czech Republic, Slovakia and Poland, Christ as a child or angels bring the main gifts. In some areas, Santa comes early on the 5th or 6th of December, but all he does is bring you small gifts or sweets.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah. In other parts of Eastern Europe and Russia, it is Grandfather Frost, or dare I say, Ben, Ded Moroz.
Very good.
And his daughter, the Snow Maiden, who bring the gifts, often on New Year's Eve.
There's a lot of snow maidens, bee maidens. We've had a lot this year of maidens.
Yeah. So, Ben, when I was researching this, I started to think Santa's been gaslighting us, hasn't he?
Well, he's saying that he does the entire world.
Oh, I've got to travel around the world in one night delivering gifts to all the children. When basically all these other Christmas entities are doing a lot of the hard work for him and spreading it out from the 6th of December until the 6th of January.
So he's a fraud in terms of his PR.
Yeah, he's, oh, I've got it so tough. No, everybody else is doing it by the sounds of it. So those were my random, I guess more focused random facts this week than usual, because they were all about gift-giving entities. Now, we mentioned before, Ben, that we weren't quite sure whether to do some Christmas ghost stories this season. Mainly because of you, Ben, being a bit bar humbug about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was sure honest. You were not.
So I've been really getting into the Yule mood this year, and luckily I came across a book by M.J. Wayland titled 30 Real Christmas Ghost Stories.
Oh, I like the real bit.
Yeah, because what he's done is research ghost stories that were reported as real by the press. I mean, they're mainly from the Victorian era, so I don't know. Reported as real, you might want to take with a slight pinch of salt, but it's Christmas. And all these ghost stories took place over Christmas. So, Ben, I was wondering, just to get us in the mood, can you just light the fire?
Yeah, I can light the fire. Yeah, okay. It would be a pleasure.
Because that wind is picking up a bit, isn't it?
Well, I said I stopped off at Starbucks for a roll on the way over. That might be it.
Oh, I can hear the wind.
Okay, I'm going to keep the door open so we can hear the wind.
Got a bit of crackling of the fire. So, yeah, get yourselves, if you're listening out there, get yourselves, I don't know, it might be quite nice to listen to this with a small dram of whiskey, don't you think?
Oh, I wish it wasn't too early for us.
Yeah. Well, let's start. Now, I was thinking that we've covered haunted horse and carriages on the podcast a few times before, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. They're one of my faves.
But I don't remember ever talking about a ghostly horse-drawn hearse.
No, I don't think I do.
Especially on Christmas Eve, where the only paranormal sightings you should be seeing are a flying sleigh carrying presents, not a flying hearse carrying the ghosts of the dead, right?
No.
Well, if you're staying at the Foxley Diet Arms Hotel on the outskirts of Redditch on Christmas Eve, you have more chance of seeing the ghostly apparition of the flying hearse than you have of seeing Santa and his sleigh.
I would say that would probably detract from being in Redditch, so that's a good thing.
Well, in 1781, Sarah Hemming purchased 3 houses near Foxley Diet Gate. Later, a relative, Mr. W. Hemming, demolished the houses and built himself a grand country mansion, calling it Foxley Diet House. Not very original, but it does the job. But it's not the houses that cause this haunting, more what lies buried on the land.
Is it a native Indian burial ground?
It's not a native Indian, but it is buried. In the early 1700s, on Christmas Eve, the verger of Tardybridge died. Given the man standing in the community, the funeral was to be held on Boxing Day. This led to a heated argument between 2 prominent clergymen, which would lead to further deaths on Christmas, this time by murder. Murder. Now, the vicar would have been first choice to conduct the Boxing Day funeral, but knowing this would mean him missing the Boxing Day hunt, he wasn't keen, Ben.
Now, come on. That's not part of the job spec.
No, exactly. Well, determined not to miss his day's hunting, he ordered the curate of nearby Stadley to conduct the ceremony in his place. Now, the curate, he just flatly refused. He wasn't having any of it.
I love this.
And the vicar...
This must have all happened in slow motion because there's no text messages or anything.
No, I think they were battling it out. Well, the vicar flew into a rage, which ended up with the evil vicar murdering the curate.
He murdered him because he wouldn't do a funeral.
Yeah. that was the cause of it. I mean, I don't know if they had beef before that, but that certainly was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Doesn't sound like they had time to cook a meal.
No.
Wait, so what year is he? 17 something?
Yeah.
Now, can a vicar get away with killing a curate?
Well, that's a really good point. Well, as you can imagine, Ben, the vicar panicked. He realised he needed a plan to dispose of the dead body, and he needed to do it quickly. The vicar, in the writing it said, took the hearse and horses from the nearby funeral director's stables. He nicked them, basically. He loaded his victim's body in the back and headed for the cemetery.
He's a wrong one.
Cunningly, Ben, burying the body in the grave set aside for the original man who died.
Oh, hello.
Double burial, get away with it. Almost the perfect murder, right?
Oh, almost, except when they go to notice that it's already occupied.
Well, Ben, he might have got away with it if it wasn't for...
Those pesky kids?
No.
Oh.
Bill Atterwood.
Oh, that was my second guess.
Yeah. Bill was a local poacher and he spotted the vicar carrying out his evil cover-up. Do you know what the vicar did?
Blamed it on the devil.
No, in desperation, the vicar killed the poacher
Oh,
as well.
for goodness sake.
Quite gruesomely, by thrusting his head into a man-trap.
Where did he have a man trap?
I don't know. Well, this guy was a poacher, so I guess I think man traps probably were used to catch big animals, right? And so, yes.
And men.
Yeah, men by this...
I mean, it's amazing. This vicar's gone on all this time, presumably resisted murdering. And now on Christmas Day, because he was asked to do a funeral, he's killed 2 people already. If anything, he's making more work.
Yeah, it really is, isn't he? Yeah. Well, with 3 people dying on Christmas Eve, 2 by murder, it was hard for the vicar to avoid his inevitable capture.
Uh-oh.
And so started the annual appearance of a hearse without a driver, manifesting on Christmas Eve when the moon is full.
So, wow. Okay, I really like that, but...
Now there's more.
Oh.
And other legends state that those who witness the hearse and horses will die within a year. But one witness did live to tell the tale when he saw the spectral hearse a few miles south of Foxley Dyett. Talking to author Anne Bradford, he said, "I could hear this cart coming nearer and nearer. It was only a narrow lane, and I thought I was gonna get run over. I could hear it and feel it, but although it was a bright moonlit night, I couldn't see a thing."
Oh, nice.
The Foxley Dyett Arms now stands just a few yards from the A448 Bromsgrove Highway, so if anyone is in the area on Christmas Eve, do let us know if you see the ghostly apparition known as the Flying Hearse.
2 for 1 drinks on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Is there any record of what happened to the vicar?
No, I couldn't find that bit of the story out.
What a guy.
Yeah, it didn't sound like a great character. Because I think the guy who originally died was a clergyman as well. So rather than going, yeah, sure, I'll host the funeral on Boxing Day, I'm the most senior, clergyman in the area. No, I'm not doing that because I've got me Boxing Day hunt to go to. And then when somebody else doesn't want to do it, you murder them. You try and dispose of the body. You get spotted by a poacher and you murder them as well.
It's not right. It's not right. Okay, well, I'm going to look out for the spectral coffin and hearse. But let's move on from killing homicidal vicars.
Well, we are going to move on from homicidal vicars to another ghost story that also relates to a death at a funeral at Christmas time, though. And this one, we're travelling to Devon and the village of Combe Martin.
Oh, I've been to Combe Martin.
Have you? I was wondering if you'd been.
I have, because if we can just excuse my geekiness, there's a firing range there. And I walked the dog around there, and me and my mum got shooed off by members of the army who pointed out the fact there's a firing range there and we shouldn't be walking there. So, yeah, I remember that quite clearly.
Well, there are lots of traditional events in the area, including the hunting of the Earl Roan, which features a rare hobby horse from folklore tradition. And they also do the Strawberry Fair in June. It all sounds a bit Wicker Man to me.
It does a bit, doesn't it? We got to prepare for the Strawberry Fair, lad.
Yeah. Well, Q Martin is said to have 3 ghosts, but today we're going to focus on one. The ghost of Squire Ustick, also known as the Christmas ghost.
Uh-huh.
I'm doing quite well with my deep Christmas ghost.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. And you did a good Santa Claus before.
Wasn't bad, was it, a little Santa?
No, I was quite impressed. I imagine if I asked you to do God, they might be similar.
Very similar to Santa Claus, I think. Yeah.
Mine always come out. You basically, if you want to do God or Santa Claus, I just head towards Brian Blessed and do my best.
Yeah, fair enough. You say Brian Blessed is God. Pretty much he's getting that status, isn't he? Well, the folklore states that if you walk down the main street of the town after midnight on Christmas Eve, you are likely to encounter the ghost of Squire Ustick. During his life in the 18th century, the squire was the master of the manor house located next to the village church. When the squire died, preparations were made for a grand funeral. And of course, Ben, after a grand funeral, you also need to have an even grander wake, which was due to take place at the manor house. Now, in Devon tradition at the time, a man's stature was measured by how many people attended their funeral. With that in mind, all Squire Ustick's servants were ordered to attend the funeral, all except one. She was a serving maid called Jane Bullock. Her duty on the day was to stay behind and finalise the food and preparations for the wake. While the funeral was taking place, Jane frantically set about cooking the baked meats for the mourners, which would be consumed on their return.
Love a baked meat.
Love a baked meat, it's Christmas.
Was one of them your secret meat?
No, it was my secret, yes. Ooh, now, don't start that debate.
No, okay.
Now, after a couple of hectic hours alone in the house preparing everything, Jane took a break and sat down in the master's chair.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. After a few moments sat in the chair, Jane was confronted with a shocking sight. The spectre of the dead squire stood before her. Then, in a booming, angry voice, a bit like Brian Blessed, the ghost shouted, "Get out of that and go and mind your work!"
That was pretty good.
After a few minutes later, the funeral party returned. On entering the sitting room, they saw Jane lying motionless on the floor, paralysed by terror. Now, that wasn't the most terrifying sight in the room, though, Ben, as the group themselves then spotted the ghost of the dead squire. He was sitting in his armchair by the fire, smoking a pipe. Now, Jane Bullock's story has been passed down through multiple generations of her family. Squire Ustick is still said to haunt his mansion while smoking his pipe, but on Christmas Eve, just after midnight, many have reported him seen walking down the road known as Ustick's Lane. I guess if you're a ghost who's got a lane named after them, you might as well go and haunt it at Christmas, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I like the fact. I'd love to have a road named after me. That's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like there's like an accompaniment to Stonewatch, which is Ustick, is it? Ustick.
Yeah, Ustick.
Ustick watch.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him with his pipe.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I love that fact of getting a road named after you. This is where you would regret being called John Smith, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
No, really, it's named after me. It really is.
Or the beaches.
Yeah. Well, let's continue our Christmas journey around the UK. This time we head to Wales and the village of Llandoga, situated between Chepstow and Monmouth. And in this case, Ben, it's quite a short story, I have to say, but it involves a Christmas poltergeist.
It's so short. There was a Christmas poltergeist. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, that's the story. This came to the attention of both local and national newspapers during the Christmas of 1823. For this story, MJ Whalen, the author, has been delving through newspaper archives. The windows shake, the drawers crack, each think that Nick's behind his back. So wrote a correspondent to the Bristol Mercury investigating William Edwards, another former preacher whose haunted house was classed as being in the league of the most notable hauntings of the time. These hauntings include Scratching Fanny, Don't try and Google that story, listeners. And the Cock Lane ghost. Don't Google that either.
Did all this happen with Frankie Howard involved?
Yeah.
Okay,
I've got the ghost story of Scratching Fanny and the Cock Lane ghost for you.
I think I've heard of the Cock Lane ghost. There might be more than one, though.
I'm sure.
But
that's not the one we're doing.
Oh, all right, okay.
This story is about the poltergeist. So it was reported that an invisible spirit had made Edwards and his family life utter hell. Become so violent that it demolished earthenware and broke glasses. It was a bit of a crockery killer. Poor William believed the poltergeist to be living in his house, and to try and get a peaceful Christmas, he relocated to another location in the village, only for the crockery-destroying demon to pursue him to his new home.
Oh, come on.
Poltergeist seems to have found this move disagreeable and began kicking furniture down the stairs and generally causing damage and mayhem around William Edwards.
So, it's attached to him rather than the property.
That's what it seems like. Now, there were some theories that the locals had. So a correspondent who visited the area tried to interview people, villagers, and see what they thought was going on. Mr. Edwards was reported to believe he was buffeting Satan on his determination to become a new man. So there was lots of rumours that he was making a pact with the devil when this poltergeist come in. Quite like this one. Another villager claimed that Edwards once promised to meet a ghost or spirit and try and find hidden treasure, but had forgotten about the appointment.
Oh my God, that is amazing.
Well, you wouldn't you? Oh, God, no, I was supposed to meet that ghost to find the hidden treasure. I completely slipped my mind.
10:45, dentist.
Yeah. 11:55, ghostly apparition and treasure hunt. Well, sadly, according to the author, the Landoga poltergeist disappears from history, and we never discover the truth behind it, or if indeed it ever stopped haunting poor William Edwards. Now, I wasn't happy with that ending, Ben, so I started to try and do a bit of further research into the case, and I did think I'd found a conclusion to the story, but realised it wasn't this case of a poltergeist in Wales, but another one from a village that sounded quite similar.
Oh.
So I got quite excited, but that story is a good one, so I will cover it in the extra scoop. You're going to love it. It's about a poltergeist that manifests as a fly.
or, as skeptics might say, a fly.
Oh, God. Where's your Christmas spirit? So if you want to hear that story after you've listened to this episode, come and join us at patreon.com/GQMpod. And we'll go into, a poltergeist that manifests as a fly.
Click Become a Patreon and help us through 2026.
Lovely. Ben, shall we move on to some spectral monks that do their haunting at Christmas?
If you don't, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. They are known as the Monks of Long Drax. What a great name.
That is really good, actually. Like, it's that name was built especially to be able to add the monks at the beginning of it.
It does sound like the start of a horror film.
It does. Yeah, that's better than even when we covered the Aintree Hoods. That sounds more, to be honest, like a BMX gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Long Drax, you say.
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice.
I wonder if the Monks of Long Drax are affiliated to the Aintree Hoods.
County lines. Yeah.
Well, the North Yorkshire hamlet of Long Drax was one of the earliest religious settlements in Britain. These settlements of religious communities housed monks, priests and lay brothers. Buried remains have been discovered across the whole area, but mainly on the land where Drax Abbey Farm sits. Established in the 1130s, Drax Priory was founded by William Paynell on the advice of the Archbishop of York. The canons dedicated the priory its name of St. Nicholas, Santa Claus. Within a couple of hundred years, the priory began to struggle, and the nearby River Ouse is a tidal river that often floods. Not only that, but the priory was frequently invaded by the Scots and other enemies. By 1535, during the dissolution of the monasteries, there were only 10 canons and 29 servants and boys remaining, and then they all eventually kind of died out, basically. But their spirits still haunt the land, Ben.
Of course they do.
The Christmas of 1922 saw a blaze of publicity when the Clark family reported their haunted cupboard.
The terrifying haunted cupboard.
Da, da, da. Now, situated half a mile away from Drax Priory ruins, Baxter Hall Farm became the scene of an intense, if not short, Christmas haunting. The Pall Mall Gazette reported, various descriptions of its appearance are given, but it is generally agreed that it takes the form of a tall and restless shade, doubtless revisiting the scene of its former trials. Restless, I read that as a kind of shadow being.
Yeah.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? Mr. Ernest Clark told reporters how she and her adult children had seen a dark, shadowy form in their bedroom. One of the witnesses, Annie, who was described as bright and intelligent girl of 16, told how she had seen the figure emerge from the cupboard, walk around a bed before vanishing through the wall. When quizzed by the journalist if she saw a shadow above the moon, Annie replied, if it was a shadow cast by the moon, it would not have travelled around the room. Quite poetic, isn't it?
Yeah, well, she's not wrong.
Back in this story was another witness, signalman Taylor, who also saw a dark figure close to Baxter Hall Farm around 2 o'clock in the morning as he was passing to go to work. He turned his flash lamp in its direction, where it promptly vanished. Many newspapers briefly printed the initial Christmas sighting, and the Daily Mirror decided to research the story further. After discussing the matter with villagers of Long Drax, the journalist uncovered the story of the impassable tunnel. During excavations some years ago, at the time of this writing, a tunnel was discovered, and it is said each time the search party reached a certain point in the tunnel, the candles they carried were blown out. This occurred more than once, and the party gave up exploring the passage. It was alleged that Drax Priory Farm and Baxter Old Hall were linked by this tunnel, even though there is half a mile between them both. I mean, there is quite a tradition of those long kind of underground connecting tunnels, isn't it? It was to let the clergymen escape, wasn't it?
I think there was all sorts of reasons, but yeah, that was one of them. But I think other ones are just, to create a pass through so that you don't have to go, over the top of the hill. But some of those old railway tunnels, which are really long and they've got venting shafts for the steam engines, those carry a lot of legends about the sounds of steam trains still being heard in them and stuff. So I think there's something sort of implicitly spooky about a tunnel anyway.
To add further strangers to the story, the locals claim that Long Drax was haunted by a man without a head.
Oh.
Also haunted by a black figure flapping bat. A black figure flapping bat-like wings. There was also hauntings of a man hanging from a gallows and a medieval woman. There's a lot of haunting going on there.
Yeah, particularly like the Batman.
The Yorkshire Post also wrote about the traditions of the Christmas hauntings. For a good many years, ghosts have been in the air in Drax, quote unquote. At one time, the ghosts of the monks of Abbey used to come at Christmas time at intervals and parade the long avenue of trees in the neighbourhood. That'd be a thing to see, wouldn't it? Miss Clark, who lives at the farm, is certain she saw a spectral figure stalk around her bedroom on 3 nights in succession. Others talk of a shadowy woman, winged creatures, and a headless woman. It's all going on. A special correspondent was dispatched to Baxter Old Hall a few days after the initial story and delivered a very unusual and slightly condescending report, I have to say, towards the end. They say, last night when the wind was whining down the dark lanes, bit of wind, and the bats were in the belfry of the village church, it seemed possible to believe anything. Even the local story of a local raconteur who says he's seen 50 spectres marching in columns of 4 towards Drax Priory.
Okay.
The whole district is haunted. Transparent owls hoot at the children, medieval women laugh in the face of old men, and the headless spectres lounge around the hedgerows in their nightshirts. This is where it gets a bit patronising. If I were more familiar with the Yorkshire dialect, there is no doubt that I should be able to recount many more happenings. And then goes on to say, unfortunately, I was unable to understand a word he said, though I gathered from his manner they were extremely funny ghost stories.
That's just rude, to be honest.
Well, the journalist then spent the night ghost hunting at Baxter Hall. He said he waited for the monks to appear, but heard and saw nothing. And the only thing that did happen to him, when he left, he fell into a ditch. Disappointingly, this is the last report of the Clark's family's experiences at the Old Hall. Still, if you view the initial sightings, there were 3 members of the family who saw the initial ghost, the signalman who saw a ghost, and the local raconteur, quote-unquote, plus other villagers. Now, while the journalist tried to downplay the stories of the areas, no doubt there is an aspect of truth to these sightings, the author says. And I must say, for the locals, the Christmas of 1922 was a scary time. Marching monks, headless ghosts and winged creatures, it's all going on, right?
I like the fact that they got into formation. See, I thought that was going to lead to like a legion of Roman soldiers. That's your typical one.
Yeah.
But
Legion of monks.
This sounds much more like a Michael Jackson video.
Yeah, it does a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Ben, we've had ghostly Christmas hearses, other apparitions, seasonal poltergeists and haunted Christmas monks. This is going to please you. How about a Christmas doppelganger?
Oh, yes, please.
Well, here is a case covered in many publications. I'm going to read it from the Journal of the Bizarre, which is a good source. Is it possible to encounter the ghost of a person still living? Is it possible to be in more than one place at the same time?
Oh, yes, it is, it is.
These are just some of the questions that come to mind when examining the strange case of the Reverend Dr. Hugh Astley, the village vicar of East Rudden in England's Norfolk County during the early part of the 20th century. The bizarre tale of Hugh Astley begins during the Christmas season of 1908. Astley decided to spend the holidays with his wife in Algeria and left his vicarage in the hands of the Reverend Robert Brock, whom he first met during a trip to London on December the 9th, 1908. Though they conversed for less than an hour, the two preachers immediately hit it off, and Dr. Astley invited Reverend Brook to serve as his substitute over the holiday season. They'd only known each other for a few days. That's a nice thing he did, isn't it?
It's better than killing him.
Much better. On December 26, Reverend Brock received a letter from an English military chaplain stationed in Algiers by the name of Reverend Herbert Muriel. In this letter, the chaplain informed the substitute vicar that Dr. Astley and his wife were involved in a terrible train accident on December the 16th. Both had sustained serious injuries, kind of life-threatening injuries, basically. Later that same evening, as Brock was seated in the dining room of the vicarage, the housekeeper, Mrs. Hartley, became startled and told him that Dr. Astley was waiting for him in the study. Looking through the glass window on the lawn, I myself distinctly saw the figure of Dr. Astley in clerical attire standing against the wall which adjoined the dining room, stated Brock to a London newspaper in January of 1909. I rubbed my eyes and looked again. I was not dreaming. The figure was not looking at me, but seemed to be plunged in thought. Mrs. Hartley had a candle in her hand, and I told her to take it away. I still saw the figure most clearly. A housemaid who joined us could also see the figure, so this is 3 of them seeing this apparition. Brock stated that the apparition of Dr. Astley appeared at around 4:45 in the afternoon and was visible for about 10 minutes. On December the 29th, Mrs. Hadley once again saw the vicar's apparition, this time in the garden. According to Brock, the housekeeper went into the study and came out screaming, "Come quick, here it is again!" Brock raced into the study and looked out the window and could plainly see the apparition of Dr. Astley. Brock immediately sent a telegram to Algiers inquiring about the condition of the vicar and his wife, but was surprised to learn, this is interesting, they were both recovering well from their injuries. However, Brock learned that the vicar, who had sustained a concussion in the accident, had twice lost consciousness for a brief period of time, once on December 26th and once again on December 29th.
Oh, that's interesting.
Really interesting. Brock believed this might have had something to do with the timing of the apparitions. My own impression was that Dr. Astley was dead, stated Reverend Brock. Now, it would really appear that when we saw his figure outside the study window, he was in a state of unconsciousness and delirium, and in some way was able to project himself in living form to his home in England. So yeah, we've discussed bilocation before. Sometimes they do say it can come about through extreme stress, but I thought it was interesting. It's not that he died and it was him seeing the ghost. The guy was still alive, but in Algeria, or Algiers, and was bilocating back to his home in England.
Next year, I'm going to come back to the subject because I've just bought Phantasms of the Living, which is about ghosts of people who haven't died yet. And this is a typical case. Something that I read in there just in passing, that idea that so you were saying there about them just recovering. There's a case, for example, where somebody is preaching on the pulpit, I suppose, of a church.
Right.
But they've also they appear in a different country and they're playing guitar to some children.
Wow.
And he says to the congregation, like, I think I'm bilocating. Can you take a photograph of me?
Oh, wow.
Next time I'm on the doing the preaching. And the same thing happens. He wills himself in this time out of his body and he goes somewhere else. But he carries on preaching, and there are some photographs taken of him, but they are all out of focus, and
wow.
you can't make out exactly who it is that's there. So the act of his bilocation means that he becomes not invisible to the camera, but he distorts the camera image. So I find all of this completely. I mean, it's one of my favourites.
But
so,
to people looking at him, they're not seeing that. He looked completely fine.
No.
I love that line, though. Oh, I think I'm bilocated.
Yeah. I think I'm in two places at once. Yeah. It is.
And I can't even play the guitar.
Well, the reason that he first does this, so he's... I'll do the full story next year, but basically this guy's very religious, and he walks around and around his house doing prayer at night, and he does the walking to keep himself awake. And one night he's walking around and around and around his house, and he spots an old man sitting in his chair, and he's about to get across with him, and he realises it's him, and he realises that for the last few times he's done this, he's been out of body when he's been walking around. But then he's surprised that someone else has seen him walking around. So he then gets this idea that he might be bilocating.
Yeah.
So he decides to sort of press on it. Full story coming in 2026.
Yeah, and in that last one, the one I just did, I mean, it did say in the article, this often is said to occur during times of extreme duress or distress. And I don't know if I'd come across that in terms of bilocation or doppelgangers, but no, yeah, interesting.
No. I mean, the ones that I've been reading so far, it's been either strong will or something that's been cultivated, like almost like a yogic technique or something. Yeah.
Well, in a minute we're going to bilocate to Ben and Peter's Extra Scoop on Patreon, but before we go, see what I did there?
That was very good. The segues in this show have been exceptional. 10 out of 10 Christmas stars.
Excellent. Before we go, I want to leave you with a Christmas story from Reddit. Now, it's not a paranormal tale, but I did find it really charming when I came across it. I think you'll see. And we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about receiving disappointing presents. Do you remember? I can't remember if it was the main ep or the Extra Scoop. So like I said, it's not a paranormal story, but I'll let Reddit user at 132 PM, that's their name, explain in their own words. They write, I don't know if this will be funny to anyone else, but I'm still laughing now remembering the mess of my first Christmas that I can really remember. I love reading from a very early age, and my family loved that and were happy to spread it around. So Christmas, when I'm 4 years old, start opening my presents and I start finding books. I love it at first. I got books from my parents, my grandparents, my aunts and uncles. Everyone knew I loved books.
That's already too many books, though.
The present opening continued, and my cousins are getting toy after toy, and I'm getting more books. I'm starting to get a little down at this point, and I learned later the family started getting worried and comparing notes and realising that not a single person had got me a toy.
Oh, no. Surely your parents should have thought about that.
You think? Yeah, I loved books, but I was 4 years old. I liked toys too.
And not a librarian.
Eventually, my aunt and uncle started making my cousins give some of their toys to me to play with, and they said that Santa had made a mistake, which just pissed off everyone around me, and none of us believed it. So I went outside in the front yard to play and pout away from all the toys and books. After a little bit, the next door neighbour walks up saying, "Merry Christmas," and has a bunch of presents for us kids. Hands me one. I tear it open, so excited to finally get a toy. It was another book.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to say you can tell it's a book as soon as it's been handed to you.
My little brain broke about then, and I just remember sitting straight down in a puddle and crying. My neighbour was distraught about what he'd done wrong, and my mum had to explain it to him. The last thing is the part that mostly cracks me up and everyone else.
Here's a book voucher, it's different.
My poor neighbour didn't know he was my last hope for a toy of my own that day, and my little preschool misery ended up taking him out as well. We all have a kind of sick sense of humour. In the end, I learned early on that too much of a good thing is bad, and my family learned to compare notes a bit better on what they're going to get each other for Christmas.
But all I would say, I haven't got kids, but even so in terms of small people that I plan for, and I use people in the broadest sense, it's my dog, and I know my dog has already got a ball, so I need to get him something jangly to go with his ball, because balls to him are like books.
Yeah.
And I would have thought if you'd have had a 4-year-old, you'd have gone, right, that's it, probably enough books. Shall we get them a fire engine? You know?
Yeah.
I would have done the same.
Yeah. I thought it was funny though.
It's very good. Yes.
Well, it wasn't.
And then hang on, we got to paranormal it up. And then the vicar tried to kill him.
Then the vicar tried to kill him,
right,
and took him away in a ghostly hearse.
And
followed by a parade of ghostly monks.
There's a ghostly mobile library that goes up and down that road.
Yeah.
On Christmas Day, right? Perfect.
Yeah, you got it. I quite enjoyed our little. Are you getting a bit more festive now, Ben? After our Christmas ep?
Yeah, I think so. You've taken me away from. So I've done that thing of there were a couple of interesting presents I wanted to get for my dad, and I hadn't realised that when I ordered them they were coming from America, and now I'm sitting watching them go through. I ordered them at the beginning of December. They're going through the international post system, and I thought it'd be fine. And now I'm thinking I'm not sure they're going to get here.
You know what? I had one of those yesterday. I bought my partner something, and I'm not going to say what it is because obviously she might hear. So I bought her something, and I got the email back saying thank you for your order. We're really happy that you're supporting our small business, and I felt good about supporting their small business. And then my next thought was, this isn't going to arrive before Christmas, is it?
Oh no! Oh, it's going to be lovingly handmade by John in February.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I'm just going to tell you what. I'm going to shut this door because it's blowing around.
Yeah, should we put the fire out?
Yeah. I'll just get the dog to wee on it. So next week we'll revert to normal paranormal stories, and I've got something really interesting for the main show. So I'm not going to reveal it now because I've now actually got a week off work, and I'm going to read as much as I can about this particular topic. It's another difficult one, but it's going to be good.
Excellent. Well, come and if you don't hear us before Christmas, we do hope you have lovely breaks out there. But if you want to, come and join us at patreon.com/TQM pod now, where I will be talking about this poltergeist that turns into a fly.
Does it though?
Does it though?
All
Don't
right.
spoil it.
I'll find out. All right. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas,
and
everyone.
sleep well on Christmas Eve and await Santa and just hope the evil vicar doesn't turn up.
Yeah, indeed. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you the quantum mechanics?